Hey everybody, Charles Calhoun, aka the Shadetree Pro, here at the beautiful Grand Vista Marriott in Orlando, Florida, where I own and operate my teaching business under the shade tree. Yesterday was a long, long day. I was here yesterday from started at 9, didn't finish till after 3. My man Chucky, former NBA player, he came here at 11, and he finished with me at 3 as well. But Chucky asked me a great question in the midst of us, taking a couple water breaks in essence, he asked me a question. He's like, because I was showing him a video that's up on my YouTube, my old big break swing, or the swing that I had just before, I went on to the big break. I played real well just before that. I think I shot 64 a few days before that, just getting ready. And just right after that, I think I got on the big break right after, got the information and all that stuff for the big break right after that. But, and I swung well, but I told Chuck, and I said, although back in the day, with the swing that I had, I scored better than I did do today, because once again, back then my focus was on scoring, not so much as developing the swing, but it was more or less, what do I need to do to create a score? And I said, but today my swing is much better from a standpoint that I know how to correct it. If anything goes wrong with it, or I have a philosophy top down, of course, Shadetree Pros top down, that I know exactly what I'm doing and I know how to build. And it wasn't as much guesswork as it was back in the day in comparison. So he's like, ah, man. So that was kind of the answer that I gave him. Yeah, I do think I got a much better golf swing than I had. One of the biggest things is, like I said, I am definitely more consistent with my driver. A little fatter, and all that stuff, but age and time and all that catches up to you. But then as we expounded on that, and I said, the difference was in comparison to now, as me being a teacher and learning back then, I was more of a player. The difference was also is that I still had this philosophy. I used to always hit a fade. So the way we were taught is to just learn how to hit a shot. So I would sit there and I had a target that I would hit at, and I would always try to cut this, whatever club I was cutting it, and I couldn't go to the other side of the flag stick. So, and if I crossed the other side of the flag stick, then all of a sudden, I had to start all over. So I used to do increments of like 50 balls, or, I put it, some days I would even do 100 balls and try to hit 100 balls on one side. And then if I actually hit one over on the other side, I'd start all over. And it was days that I would just hit balls and I never could get through 100 because I'd get tired, and then I'd just block one out or something of that nature. So that was what we used to practice. That's how I used to practice, and that's how I was learning how to score. So when I stood on the golf course, I know Hogan said eliminate one side of the golf course. Well, that's kind of what I was doing. I was playing one side of the flag stick. No matter where that flag stick was, I was trying to play one side of that flag stick. And if it would just happen to be that that flag, say, was on the left, then I would use my visualization and move the because and trouble was left. I'd move the flag over in my visualization and still feel like I'm cutting it, towards the flag, to play safe and not hit it in certain areas. Now, something I was showing Chuck yesterday, because he likes to hit a little draw. I was showing Chuck because I was just doing increments of 10 with him. Okay, Chuck, hit it out to the right. Anything goes to the left of the flag stick, you got to start all over. Well, one situation, he got down to the 9th ball, and he said, he said, I got this one. I got this one. And he gets up there and he makes a swing, and sure enough, he pulls it left. And I gave him a scenario. I said, see, Chuck, this is another thing about this drill and how you learn this. Let's say, for an example, you're playing somewhere, all the trouble, the water is left or something of that nature, and it's coming down to those crack holes, 16, 17, and 18. And you have to hit it right. You can hit it a mile right, and you're going to be okay, instead of hitting it, anywhere on the left side would be dead for you. And I said, so even if you get up here, and I mean, if you got to open up that face and block it out to the right, then then you do whatever you need to do to make sure that you keep it on the right side. So as we went through the next phases of balls, he hit some, that weren't the best shots, but I said, okay, that counts, that counts. And I said, because every single one of them stayed on the side of the flag stick that you picked. And I said, that's the whole purpose of it. And the more you continuously do that, the better you'll get of being able to learn how to hit a shot. And that right there is what a process is. That's the process. That's the process that you go through. I think I said something in the forum. Many people talk about the process. And then when I'll ask them questions, well, what do you mean by the process? Well, they don't have an answer. Well, what I just described to you, that is a process that allow you to get up here, see what you want to do, and make the kind of shot that you're trying to do. Now, me, as I've gotten my top down, and a lot of information out there for you, now what I'm wanting to do, and I've gotten back to this because I do want to have some fun playing golf. Ain't no need of doing all this and you don't get out and play a little bit. Well, I'm actually sitting here and just trying to hit it to the left side of the flag stick. I got my 52, and I'm just trying to hit my little fade. That was pretty. Hit my little fade and just try to keep it on the left side of that flag stick and just hit. And like I said, if we happen to hit one that went the other way or something of that nature, back then we just try to make adjustments to try to get us back, in that rhythm. Because sometimes, where I said that, if we hit one over on the other side, then all of a sudden you had to start all over. And, and on the golf course, you can't start all over, but you got to learn how to make your adjustments. So let's say we hit 4 or 5 of them that's on the left-hand side. Then all of a sudden we hit one that kind of blocks out. Then what we'll do is just try to make that adjustment, step off, try to make the adjustments, and then try to get back in that rhythm of hitting it on the left side, for a fade or whatever for myself. Just keep trying to hit it on there. And then if one happen to goes across it, make your adjustment and keep going. Because on the golf course, you're going to be always making a little adjustments, but with top down, you're going to at least know, how to get it up, how to bring it back down, how to strike. You're going to know how to build your process from ball location, setup, grip, takeaway, swing. And then you're going to know how to move. And so when you have all those things, then the only adjustments you're really going to be making, is whether your dead finger, turn it in and out, rolling the club face, however you want to do it, to be able to get it in a position to be able to hit it. Now, another thing that you all may see different that I explained to Chuck, I said back in the day, I couldn't hit with sunglasses on. There was just no way. It was just the depth perception or whatever. But now my swing is just more or less about the move than anything else. Then it's not real difficult for me to sit here and make a move to where I can even hit with my sunglasses on. So, people, with all my good top down and everything that I told you, obviously, don't get a lot of comments from people, but, definitely like for you to leave the comments, tell me what's going on with you. But I tell you what, start taking your top down actions and start developing. Here's the process. I'm giving you and telling you the process to make you a better player. Is start learning how to pick out one side of the flag stick. And I don't care what it is, just keep that ball on one side of the flag stick and just keep doing it over and over and over. And the better you get at doing it, then you'll start getting it to where you'll start hitting it a little bit tighter towards the flag stick. You'll get a little bit more confidence to be able to hit it, just maybe. And like Jack Nicklaus, he used to aim 20 feet left of the flag stick and cut it over. And that was another thing that you also can do. Is aim 20 feet left of whatever, whether you're a drawer or a fader, and just try to see how often you can hit it onto that target and make it come off. People call it, your sight line or whatever. But I always tell people this sometime, with the sight line, it's fine to have a sight line, but it does good if you don't know what you're using that sight line for. I'm not using it just to start the ball. That's not my biggest purpose of a sight line. My biggest purpose of it is what am I trying to do with the ball? Why am I starting it here to do what with it, and that's the shape of shot. And that's why I said to many of these young pros, you want to be on tour, learn how to hit 1,000 balls to one side of the flag stick or the other. I mean, one of the greatest golfers of all time, Ben Hogan, he hit that cut shot and he eliminated one side of the course. And, that was a problem he didn't have to deal with. Jack Nicklaus hit a fade. He eliminated one side of the course. Lee Trevino, we can go down the list of people who, eliminated one side. Kenny Perry eliminated one side because he hit the big draw. I mean, and in the long run, when you comfortably learn how to hit that shot to where you can keep it and control it on one side of the flag stick or another, trust me, you won't have no problem learning how to maybe hit a little bit of a draw if you choose to, if you want to, or that shot, a 1 or 2 shot that may come along that you absolutely have to hit a draw or something of that nature. Because once you learn how to control the way that you can do one shot, then it's just a matter of a couple adjustments or whatever to hit the other. But you got to have that go-to shot. You got to have that one that's yours, that you own, that when you walk up here, you can look and you can see and you know that you're going to hit that shaped shot regardless of the situation. So, hey, this is Charles Calhoun, a.k.a. the Shadetree Pro. Hey, give that a try. Make sure you start taking top down now and start going through the process of being able to develop a swing, a shot that will be on one side of the flag stick or another, hit shot after shot after shot. And I promise you, when you get out on the golf course, using creative visualization, whatever you aimed at on the golf course, just do it. Paint that picture. I mean, where you did on the range or wherever you at, paint that picture and take that picture and set it out there, whatever your target is on the golf course, and see yourself visually hitting that shot as if you were standing on the range. I mean, that has always worked for me, and and I know it works for a lot of others. Once again, Charles Calhoun, aka the Shadetree Pro. Hey, if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Hey, take a moment to go down, take a look at my membership. If you'd like to join my membership, go ahead. It's going to be in the link tree. That's going to be in the description. Go ahead and join that membership, $9.99 a month. I mean, I've got some great material in there, and some definitely some things that kind of help you along in the process of being able to create the best possible golf swing for you to play your best golf. Once again, this is Charles Calhoun, aka the Shadetree Pro, and you know how I do it, baby. Always good golfing.